Evan Holt walked into the research wing of Orion's star station with tired eyes and a heavy mind. He had spent the last 12 hours repairing a broken plasma vent, and all he wanted was a few minutes of silence. The lights in the hallway were dim, glowing soft blue like starlight trapped in glass. Most workers had gone to rest. Only the labs were still active. Evan pushed open the biolab door without thinking. He had repaired this same room 100 times. It was normal. It was routine. But today was different. Today, someone else was inside. At first, he didn't even realize it. He was focused on the datapad in his hand, checking the system logs. Then he heard something. Soft footsteps, like silk sliding on metal. He looked up and froze. Standing near the center table was an alien woman he had never seen before. Her skin glowed faintly like moonlight on water. Smooth scales shimmered across her arms and neck. Her eyes were bright silver, gentle but powerful. She moved like she was floating, not walking. Every step looked like part of a dance. Evan didn't know her species. He only knew one thing. She was beautiful in a way he didn't understand. And before he could stop himself, he stared. Not in a creepy way, not because of desire, but because she didn't look real. She looked like something drawn from a dream. She was adjusting some test samples when she noticed him. Her eyes moved slowly toward him, her glowing hand pausing mid-air. Evan's heart skipped. He looked away quickly, pretending to check his datapad again, his face heated. "Sorry, didn't mean to bother you." She didn't answer. Not for a moment. Then she heard soft footsteps again. Slow, calm, getting closer. Evan forced himself to breathe normally. He had no idea why he was nervous. He had seen aliens before. He worked with them daily. But this one felt different. She stopped just a few steps away. "Human," she said gently. Her voice was soft, like wind blowing through crystal leaves. "You are staring." Evan's eyes widened. I wasn't. Sorry, I didn't mean to be rude." She tilted her head slightly. Her silver eyes sparkled, not with anger, but curiosity. Then she smiled. A slow, knowing smile. "You like my body, don't you?" she asked. Evan's jaw dropped. He coughed, almost choking on air. "What? No, yes, Her smile grew wider, amused by his panic. But it wasn't a teasing, cruel smile. It was warm, understanding. "You do not need to fear your thoughts," she said. "Your species shows truth from your eyes." Evan rubbed the back of his neck, still embarrassed. "Look, I was just surprised. You're different from the others." She stepped closer, her glow brightening a little. "Different how?" "I don't know," he said honestly. "You look like you're made of light." She smiled slowly, not with anger, but curiosity. Then she smiled, a slow, knowing smile. "You like my body, don't you?" Evan's jaw dropped. He coughed, almost choking on air. "What? No, yes, Her smile grew wider, amused by his panic. But it wasn't a teasing, cruel smile. It was warm, understanding. "You do not need to fear your thoughts," he said. "Your species shows truth from your eyes." Evan rubbed the back of his neck, still embarrassed. "Look, I was just surprised. You're different from the others." She stepped closer, her glow brightening a little. "Different how?" "I don't know," he said honestly. "You look like you're made of light." Her expression softened. Most aliens reacted with offense when humans compared them to something strange, but she seemed pleased. "You see beauty," she said. where others see only difference. Evan shrugged. Guess so. She extended her hand. My name is Saris. He blinked. Evan Holt. She looked at his hand. Humans shook hands as a greeting. Her species didn't, but instead of refusing, she gently placed her glowing palm against his. Her touch was surprisingly warm, almost electric. Evan felt his heart jump. Saris watched his reaction closely, studying him the way scientists studied stars. You have a fast heartbeat, she said softly. Evan cleared his throat. Yeah, well, long day, stress, not enough sleep. Saris tilted her head again. Or maybe you are nervous because of me. Evan looked away again. Maybe. She stepped back slightly, but kept her eyes on him. Humans are interesting. You feel emotions quickly. You do not hide them. That's not always a good thing, Evan said. Saris shook her head slowly. No, it is a gift. Many species hide their true feelings behind cold logic or strict traditions. But you, she pointed lightly at his chest, your kind wears emotion here. Evan never expected such a poetic compliment from a stranger, especially an alien. A silence grew between them, not awkward, but soft and gentle. Evan found himself relaxing, his earlier stress fading away. But the moment didn't stay private. From the hallway outside, a group of alien soldiers walked past the open door. They stopped when they saw Saris standing close to a human. One of them whispered loudly, "Why is she talking to him?" Another growled quietly, "Humans don't belong with her people." Evan heard it. Saris heard it too. But she didn't step away from him. Instead, she stepped closer. Evan tensed. "It's fine," he said quietly. "I'm used to it." Saris looked into his eyes. "I am not," she said. Before Evan could ask what she meant, she said something that shocked him more than anything she had said before. "I watched you first," she whispered, "before you noticed me." Evan blinked. "You watched me?" "Yes," she said, her glow softening. "Humans move with purpose. You fix things. You protect things. It makes you interesting." Evan tried to hide the small smile pulling at his lips. "Interesting, huh?" Saris nodded. "Very." The soldiers outside kept staring, confused and irritated. But Saris didn't care. She turned back to Evan and gave another soft smile. "Come," she said. "Walk with me." And for the first time in the station's history, a human and a luminous alien woman walked side by side.
Evan wasn't sure what surprised him more, that Saris asked him to walk with her, or that he actually followed without thinking. The glowing alien woman moved ahead of him with a quiet grace, her steps light and smooth, almost like she floated instead of walked. Her soft scales shimmered with every movement, catching the lab lights in tiny waves of silver and blue. Evan tried not to stare this time. Tried. Failed. Saris noticed anyway. "You don't have to pretend you're not looking," she said calmly without turning. "My species does not get offended by curiosity." Evan scratched the back of his neck. "Yeah, well, humans try not to stare at people. It feels rude." Saris finally turned to him. Her eyes glowed a little brighter. "To us, it means interest, respect, attention." Evan laughed softly. "Humans are complicated. We do the opposite." Saris nodded thoughtfully. "Yes, that is why I want to understand your kind." They reached a quiet viewing deck overlooking a swirling nebula outside the station. The stars shone brightly, painting the window with deep purples and golds. Saris stood close to the glass, her glowing reflection mixing with the starlight. She looked almost unreal, like she belonged among the stars, not inside a metal station. Evan stepped beside her. So, what exactly do you want to understand about humans? Cirrus looked at him with curiosity that felt too deep, too personal. Everything. Everything, Evan repeated. That's a lot. Cirrus nodded slowly. Yes, that is why I chose you. Evan blinked. Chose me? For what? You will help me study human emotion, she said simply. Evan choked on his breath. Excuse me? Study? Yes. She tilted her head. Is that the wrong word? Evan ran a hand through his hair. Well, it sounds like you want to run experiments on me. Cirrus laughed softly, a sound like tiny chimes. Not experiments, observations, conversations, time spent together. Evan exhaled. Oh, that kind of study. She stepped closer. But you must be honest with me, always. Evan raised an eyebrow. Honest how? Cirrus pointed to his chest again. Humans communicate here, with your feelings. If you feel fear, I must know. If you feel sadness, I must know. If you feel attraction... Evan cut in quickly, face heating. Okay, I get it. Cirrus smiled again, knowing exactly why he reacted that way. She liked watching him get flustered. But Evan wasn't the only one watching. Behind them, 2 alien soldiers stood in the doorway. They didn't speak, but their cold stares were loud enough. Cirrus noticed and stepped a little closer to Evan, as if shielding him. Strange. It should be the other way around, Evan thought, but she protected him. The soldiers finally walked away, leaving the area silent again. Cirrus turned back to Evan. Many of my people do not trust humans? Yeah, I noticed. They think you are unpredictable, too emotional, too physical, too direct. Evan shrugged. They're not wrong. Cirrus's glow brightened slightly. But I see something else. Evan looked at her. What? That humans can feel deeply and still stand strong. She touched the window lightly. Your species is fragile in appearance, yet carries courage inside. That is rare. Evan stared at her, surprised by her words. You talk about humans like we're some kind of legend. Cirrus looked at him with soft eyes. To many worlds, you are. A moment of silence passed between them, not awkward, but heavy with unspoken meaning. Finally, Cirrus broke it. Tomorrow, join me in my training chamber. Evan hesitated. Is that safe for humans? Cirrus smiled in a way that was both beautiful and dangerous. No, that is why it is interesting. Evan's stomach tightened. You want me to walk into a room that could kill me? I will be there, she said calmly. I will not let harm reach you. Evan studied her face. She wasn't joking. She wasn't testing him. She genuinely wanted to understand him. All right, I'll go. Cirrus's glow warmed like she was pleased. Good. She stepped past him, but as she moved, her fingers brushed his hand, light as a whisper. Evan froze, a small spark running up his arm. Cirrus noticed. Reaction. Human reaction. Evan rolled his eyes, trying not to smile. You are studying me already. Yes, and I find you very interesting. His heart skipped again. On the way out of the deck, Cirrus spoke one last time. Evan, when I asked if you liked my body, I was not mocking you. He stiffened slightly. I know. I wanted to see your truth, she said gently, and you gave it. Evan swallowed. Was that bad? Cirrus shook her head slowly. No, it was honest, and honesty is rare in this place. Outside the viewing deck, shadows moved silently. Someone had been listening. Someone not happy. Someone planning something. But Cirrus and Evan didn't know that yet.
Their strange connection was only beginning.
Evan didn't sleep much that night. His mind kept replaying Saris's voice, her glowing smile, her strange questions. No alien had ever spoken to him like that before. No one had ever looked at him like he was worth studying, worth noticing, worth choosing. He kept asking himself one question: why me? The next morning, he entered the engineering bay like normal, but his chest felt tight, not from fear, but anticipation. He wanted to see her again. He wanted answers. He didn't have to wait long. Saris appeared in the doorway, glowing gently, as if she carried her own small galaxy. "You came," she said softly. I smirked. "I said I would." She stepped closer. "Good. Follow me. Today, you will see my world." Evan followed her through the curved hallways of the star station. Each step felt like a step into something unknown, exciting, dangerous, impossible to predict. They reached a tall door marked Gravity Training Chamber, authorized personnel only. Evan hesitated. "So, your people train here?" Saris nodded. "Yes. Our bodies are built for intense pressure. We use gravity to strengthen our scales, our muscles, our bones." "And humans?" Evan asked. Saris paused, eyes softening. "Humans are not built for this level. Normally, you would collapse instantly." Evan blinked. "And you want me to go inside?" "Yes." I sighed. "Do you want to study how fast I die?" Saris stepped closer than ever, close enough that her glow brushed against his skin like warmth from a fire. "No, I want to see your limit. Humans always surprise us." Evan stared into her silver eyes. He didn't know if she was trying to motivate him or tempt him, but it worked. He nodded. "Open it." Saris touched the panel. The door slid open with a deep metallic groan. Inside, the room was enormous, circular, dark, with glowing rings on the walls. The floor was reinforced metal, thick and heavy. Evan could feel the gravity increase slightly just by standing near the entrance. Saris walked in effortlessly. "Step slowly. Listen to your body." He inhaled deeply and entered. At first, he felt only a gentle weight on his shoulders. Then it got heavier, like someone pushing down on him with invisible hands. He clenched his jaw. "This is manageable." Saris watched him with calm interest. "The chamber is at 10%. 10? Evan said, shocked. "Feels like 50. Your bones are denser than ours, but your muscles are weaker. Humans rely on stubborn spirit." Evan laughed breathlessly. "Yeah, that checks out." Saris lifted her hand and adjusted a control panel on the wall. "I will increase it." Evan raised his hand quickly. "Wait, maybe—" She activated it. Gravity slammed down harder. Evan grunted, dropping to one knee. His heart raced. His breath felt like fire. His muscles shook. Saris stepped to his side instantly. "Are you in pain?" "Only everywhere," Evan groaned. "You may leave if it becomes too much." Evan pushed slowly back to his feet. "Not happening. I'm not done." Saris watched him closely. Her glow warmed. "You humans, yes, you always stand." He forced one step, then another. His legs screamed. Sweat ran down his back, but something inside him, something stubborn and careless and human, kept pushing. Saris looked amazed. Most species break at this level. Evan smirked painfully. "Humans break a lot. We just keep walking afterward." Saris reached out and gently touched his arm. "Enough for today." Her touch felt like cool water. The pressure eased. Evan exhaled shakily, grabbing the wall for balance. He expected Saris to laugh or mock him, but instead, she looked impressed. "I did not expect you to endure so much," she whispered.
I tried to catch my breath. So, I passed your test? She shook her head slowly. It was not a test. It was a promise. A promise? Yes. Sarah stepped close again. The more time I spend with you, the more your emotions affect me. My emotions? Your fear, your courage, your desire. They change my glow. They change my body. I swallowed. Is that bad? No, she said softly, her glow warming even brighter. It means my instincts are choosing you. Before he could respond, an alarm suddenly blared through the station. A harsh, violent sound. Warning, power surge detected in the training wing. Gravity field unstable. Evan frowned. What does that mean? Saris's eyes widened in fear. The chamber is losing control. The floor trembled. The lights flickered. A deep mechanical growl echoed as the walls shook. Saris reached for Evan's hand. We must leave now. But before they could move, the gravity spiked again. Harder, sharper, uncontrolled. Saris stumbled forward, nearly collapsing. Evan caught her instantly, pulling her into his arms. Her body trembled violently. This level, it will break me. Evan gritted his teeth. Then hold on. I'll get you out. He lifted her fully, her glowing body pressing weakly against him, and began walking through the crushing force. Every step felt like dragging a star behind him. Every breath felt like swallowing metal. But he didn't stop. Humans never stopped. Saris looked up at him through shaking breaths. How are you still standing? Evan smirked through pain. Humans are good at surviving things we shouldn't. Behind them, hidden in the shadows of the upper ring, someone watched. Jealous, angry, planning. Someone who didn't want Saris anywhere near a human. It wasn't an accident. It was sabotage. And this was only the beginning.
Evan carried Saris out of the unstable gravity chamber with sheer determination. His muscles burned. His lungs felt like they were filled with fire. But he didn't stop. He held her close, protecting her fragile, glowing body against the crushing force until the chamber's door finally slid shut. The moment they reached normal gravity, Saris collapsed into his arms, breathing unevenly. "You saved me," she whispered, her glow faint but warm. "Again." Evan leaned against the wall, exhausted. "We need to report that malfunction. Someone could have died." Saris shook her head weakly. "That was no accident. I felt it. The gravity shift. It was controlled." Evan frowned. "Controlled? By who?" Before she could answer, heavy footsteps echoed down the hallway. A tall alien warrior entered the space with sharp, angry steps. His scaled armor gleamed like polished obsidian. His eyes were dark, burning with rage. It was Ravkor, the one who hated humans more than anyone on the station. He stopped a few feet away and glared at Evan with open disgust. "So it is true," Ravkor growled, voice deep like a drum in a war hall. "The luminous one has lowered herself to the company of a soft-skinned human." Saris straightened as much as her weak body allowed. "Ravkor, step aside. Evan is injured, and so am I." Ravkor's lip curled. "He does not belong here. He never did." Evan held Saris closer. "I didn't do anything to you." "That is the problem," Ravkor hissed. "You exist. You take space that should be ours, and now you take her attention as well." Saris's glow flickered angrily. "I give my attention to who I choose." Ravkor slammed his spear-like staff on the ground. The sound vibrated through the floor. "Your choices shame your clan. You were destined for our warriors, not this weak creature." Evan took a step forward. "Weak? I carried her out of gravity that could crush a tank." "It was luck," Ravkor said coldly. "Nothing more." Evan clenched his jaw. "Try me." Saris's eyes widened. "Evan, no!"
Ravkor tilted his head, studying Evan the way a predator studies prey. You challenge me? Evan didn't look away. If that's what it takes to get you to leave her alone, then yes. A dangerous silence fell between them. Cirrus stepped between the two men. Her glow brightened, an emotional reaction Evan had begun to understand. This time, it was fear. Real fear. Ravkor, enough, she said firmly. Your anger blinds you. Evan is not our enemy. Ravkor lowered his head slightly, like a beast preparing to strike. He has taken your glow. I will take his life. Evan moved instinctively, shielding Cirrus behind him. You'll have to get through me first. That was all Ravkor needed. He slammed his staff against the wall panel. A circular door slid open behind him, revealing a large chamber bathed in red light. The walls were marked with old symbols. The floor was cracked from past battles. It was the ritual duel arena, a place where warriors settled their conflicts, a place where mercy was optional, a place humans weren't supposed to enter. Ravkor pointed his weapon at Evan. Step inside, human. Prove your worth, or leave the station forever. Cirrus grabbed Evan's arm desperately. Evan, you are not trained for this. He will break you. Evan gently held her hand. Cirrus, if I don't do this, he'll never stop coming after either of us. Her breath trembled. Then I will fight beside you. No, Evan said. He wants me, not you. Ravkor smirked. Listen to him, luminous one. He has courage, but little else. Evan took a deep breath. He wasn't a soldier. He wasn't strong like Ravkor, but he had something Ravkor didn't understand. Human stubbornness. He stepped into the arena. Ravkor followed, sealing the door behind them. Cirrus banged her hands against the barrier. Stop this! Ravkor, this is madness! Ravkor ignored her, spinning his staff like a deadly dancer. His movements were smooth, powerful, too fast for most species to follow. Evan raised his fists awkwardly. I'm not afraid of you. You should be, Ravkor growled. The battle began. Ravkor rushed forward, striking with enough force to dent steel. Evan dodged the first blow, but the second hit him across the ribs, sending him rolling across the floor. Cirrus screamed from outside, Evan! Inside the arena, Evan forced himself back to his feet. Pain burned through his body, but he stood tall. His stance was imperfect, but his eyes were sharp. You're fast, Evan said, but I'm not done. Ravkor snarled, You should have stayed on your broken planet. Evan charged forward, not with elegance, not with technique, but with raw determination. He tackled Ravkor, surprising the warrior with sheer force. Humans were physically smaller, but their sudden explosive strength was unpredictable. Ravkor staggered but didn't fall. He slammed Evan down again, pinning him with his staff. Yield, Ravkor demanded. Evan spat blood and grinned. Make me. Cirrus pounded the window. Evan, please stop! But Evan wasn't fighting for pride. He was fighting for her. And Ravkor saw it. Rage filled the warrior's eyes. You dare to desire her? A human touching one of us? How disgusting! Evan's expression hardened. She's not yours to control. Ravkor roared and prepared the final blow when a voice boomed through the arena speakers. Enough! It was the station commander. Security flooded the hall. Cirrus pressed her hands to the barrier, tears in her glowing eyes. Evan! As Ravkor stepped back, the commander declared, Your duel is illegal, and Ravkor, you sabotaged the gravity chamber. You nearly killed a member of your own species. Ravkor froze. Everyone saw it, and the next decision would change everything.
The arena fell silent. Ravkor stood frozen as the commander's words thundered through the chamber walls. Even the security guards stiffened. Sabotage was one of the worst crimes on the station. Worse than fighting, worse than threats, worse than any personal rivalry. Ravkor's face shifted from rage to panic. "No," he growled. I did nothing." The commander projected a hologram into the arena. Footage filled the air. Clear, undeniable. Ravkor sneaking into the gravity control room. Ravkor adjusting the levels. Ravkor watching Cirrus and Evans struggle inside. A collective gasp echoed. Cirrus covered her mouth, her glow trembling. Evans stepped forward despite the pain in his ribs. "You tried to kill her," he said quietly. "Not me, her." Ravkor snapped. "She chose wrong. She chose a human. Enough," the commander repeated. Security guards surrounded the warrior. Ravkor tried to resist, but 4 soldiers held him down. His spear clattered to the floor. Cirrus pressed her glowing palm against the arena barrier, her silver eyes fixed on Evan. "You risked your life for me," she whispered. "Again." Evan gave a tired smile. "Seems like it's becoming a habit." The commander opened the barrier. Cirrus rushed in before anyone could stop her. She knelt beside Evan, her shimmering hands touching his bruised face. "Evan," her glow warmed to soft gold. "You should not have fought him alone." Ravkor struggled in the guard's grip. "He is unworthy of your glow. You belong with warriors." Cirrus turned, her glow shifting to a fierce white. "I belong where my heart chooses." The entire arena went silent. Her species rarely spoke such words. Their emotions were usually hidden behind light, not revealed in voice. But she said it openly, boldly, in front of everyone. Ravkor's face widened with heartbreak and disbelief. Evans stared at her. "Your heart?" Cirrus turned back to him, her glow softening again. "Yes, humans speak with their hearts. You taught me that." Evan blinked, overwhelmed. "I just tried to protect you." Cirrus leaned closer. "And you did." The commander cleared his throat. "Ravkor will be removed from the station and transported to Judicial Council. Sabotage is a major offense." As the guards dragged Ravkor away, he stared at Evan one last time. But the anger in his eyes was gone. Instead, there was something else. Respect. Maybe even fear. Evan didn't care. All he cared about was the glowing woman still touching his cheek. The aftermath. Later that day, Evan was taken to the medical bay. Cirrus refused to leave his side. A medic examined him, shaking his head in disbelief. "You should have broken several bones, yet somehow you only have bruises and a cracked rib." Evan smirked. "I'm a human. We're built stupid." Cirrus frowned. "Built strong," she corrected gently. When the medic left, Cirrus remained close. Too close. Her glow warmed the entire room. She placed her hand on Evan's chest. "Your heartbeat is fast again." Evan said, before he could stop himself, "Because you're touching me." Cirrus tilted her head. "Does it bother you?" "No," Evan whispered. "It doesn't." Her glow brightened slightly. "Good." She sat beside him, legs folded gracefully like flowing light. "I watched you fight. You stood against a trained warrior. You did not give up." That was... She paused, searching for a word. "Beautiful." Evan flushed. Beautiful isn't usually how people describe getting punched in the face. Sarah smiled. "I am not describing the battle. I am describing you." Evan swallowed. "Why you, Saris? Why did you choose me? There are stronger aliens here, smarter ones, faster ones." Saris touched his hand. "None of them carried me through deadly gravity. None of them faced danger without fear. None of them looked at me the way you did on the first day."
Evan chuckled softly. I thought you'd be angry. Why? She asked. Because I stared. Saris leaned closer. You didn't stare out of disrespect. You stared out of wonder, she whispered, and I liked that. Evan felt his heart jump again. Saris noticed her glow pulsed. Your heart speaks loudly. Evan looked into her silver eyes. What is your glow saying now? Saris lowered her head slightly, a gesture of intimacy in her culture, that you are safe with me. She paused. And that I want to stay with you. Evan stared at her. You want to stay? She nodded. Yes, but only if you want the same. Evan exhaled slowly. Yeah, he whispered. I do. Sarah smiled. A real smile, warm and bright like starlight warming a dark room. Then I choose you. For the first time, Evan reached out and touched her cheek gently. Her skin felt smooth and warm, like soft metal kissed by the sun. Her glow flared softly beneath his fingers. Saris leaned into the touch. No words were needed. Their closeness said everything. A new beginning on the station. Over the next days, everything changed. Ravcor was taken off the station. Security rules were tightened. The crew began to treat humans with more respect. And Saris, she walked beside Evan wherever he went. Not behind him, not ahead of him, beside him. When other aliens stared, she didn't hide. She held her glow bright and proud, showing everyone her choice. One evening, as they walked past the star window, Evan caught Saris watching him with that familiar soft smile. He raised an eyebrow. What? She said. You are staring again. Evan laughed. Maybe I like what I see. Saris stepped closer, eyes glowing warmly. Then look as long as you wish. She touched his hand lightly, and this time she didn't tease. She didn't question. She simply held it.